sports, the National Football League.
I'm Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. Welcome to Week 4 on the NFL Today. After only 3 games, some guys are already taking some time off. Under the league's new 16-game, 17-week schedule, this is the first open or bye weekend. The entire NFC West has the day off today, and we'll be taking a closer look at that just a little bit later on.
When do we get our bye, Gregory?
We don't get a bye, which means you've got to bring that Louisiana accent in here every single weekend. Right now, with 30 minutes to kick off, here's what's happening around the NFL today. In Minnesota, with Wade Wilson out, Rich Gannon makes his first NFL start at quarterback for the Vikings as they take on the Buccaneers. Gannon has completed a grand total of 9 passes in his pro career. Don Majkowski makes his second start of the season as his Packers take on the Lions in the Silverdome. The Magic Man couldn't make the rust from his holdout disappear last Sunday, so the Packers held a special midweek minicamp for his benefit. And over in the Meadowlands, Lawrence Taylor is warming up his sore left hamstring as his Giants prepare to play the Cowboys. LT pulled that hamstring on the last play against Miami last week, a game that was long over and which prompted an angry head coach Bill Parcells to parcel out some post-game blame over why his superstar was still in the game.
Well, you know, I can't think for everybody around here, so it's just one of those things. We'll see what happens. I don't know how bad it is right now.
Does that mean you were annoyed with your defensive?
I don't mean any thing, okay? Got me? I don't mean anything.
Parcells cooled off later, and he apologized, and he has since taken full blame for Taylor playing when he wasn't needed. For an update on Taylor's status for today's game, let's go out live now to Giants Stadium, where Pat Summerall is standing by. Pat?
All right, Greg. Well, there have been 2 questions asked out here. Number 1, will he be able to play? Number 2, why was he in the game? And later on in the week, Bill Parcells, the coach, took full blame. He said, I run the shop around here. He should not have been in a game that we had already won. Now, is he going to play? Yes, he is. Is he going to start? Yes, he is. He's an amazing individual. You're not dealing with a normal human being, normal football player here. Yesterday in practice, he was rather ginger about things. Didn't really exert himself, but still took part in workouts. He worked hard on Thursday and Friday. Today, this is just moments ago, he was out being stretched, so Parcells asked him, did he want to spot today or did he want to start? And he said, I want to start. I'm ready to go. But again, remember, you're not dealing with a normal football player here. Something special as Lawrence Taylor. Back to you, Greg. He's going to play.
All right, Pat Summerall, thank you very much. Terry, the problem here is the Giants have the week off with a bye next week. Here's 2 weeks rest looking at this guy. Why is he playing?
No, I'll tell you why, because he looked at the charts and saw the Cowboys quarterbacks have been sacked 15 times, but Taylor's not normal, and why he was in there last week, and the only reason Parcells was mad because he's mad at his defensive coordinator or he's mad at Taylor. One of those guys messed up, but Taylor had no reason playing, and right now would be the time to sit him down. Hey, look, 2 weeks, man, he could be 100% healthy.
All right, Terry, like the Giants, the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles Raiders are also off to a 3-0 beginning, and they'll play each other in a late start today. Chicago's good fortunes are due to its running game, which has constituted 2/3 of the Bears' attack. Neil Anderson leads the NFC in rushing, but the Bears' back is injured, and with an update, here's Dan Fouts in the Bears' locker room.
Thank you, Greg. The story in Los Angeles concerns the health and status of running back Neil Anderson. Anderson hurt his ribs 2 weeks ago against the Green Bay Packers, and earlier I asked him about his status for today.
My plan today? No. I probably could. I feel like I could go out and play. It'd be a lot of pain. The doctors told me I really wouldn't risk damaging anything else on the inside, but it'd be a tremendous amount of pain. And the coaches thought it was best that I sit out this week and, you know, gain an extra week of recovery and be ready for the rest of the season, because it's only one game, so we don't want to put too much importance on it.
Mike Ditka said that Johnny Bailey will start for Neil Anderson, but don't be surprised if Anderson doesn't talk his way into the lineup.
All right, and there will also be some important changes off the field for today's game at the L.A. Coliseum as authorities look to guard against a replay of last Sunday's violence. Paul Albrecht, a 35-year-old Steeler fan from Tucson, Arizona, was there to cheer on the visitors, but he was attacked in the stands. He is still listed in serious condition. In all, 50 fans were ejected last week, so today the L.A. Police Department will beef up security at the Coliseum, where they will also establish a mobile jail facility. Well, we came into this season hearing so much about the run and shoot, but so far the defenses have had the last laugh. In Detroit, where the attack centers around Barry Sanders, his pass-blocking lapses, like this one, landed him on the bench for much of the fourth quarter last week. And standing by in the Silverdome is Randy Cross. And Randy, blocking isn't Sanders' only problem, is it?
Not at all. You know, really the problem with Barry Sanders isn't so much that the Detroit coach has taken him out of the game, it's opposing defenses have taken him out of the game. Not only are his carries and his yards way down, but also his yards per carry have suffered significantly, and on first down, it's a big staff for the Detroit offense. What it's done is it's put a lot of pressure on quarterback Rodney Peete and the wide receivers, and to be perfectly honest with you, they have not performed very well. Wayne Fonts told us, the head coach, that, you know, Rodney's got a lot of shake in his offense, but he's got to develop a bake. Look for Barry Sanders getting much more involved in the passing game in Detroit today.
All right, Randy, thanks very much. You know, the first thing that strikes me, Terry, is they didn't hire Barry Sanders to pass block.
No, they didn't. I mean, let me go a little further with that. The defense that Randy was talking about, normally in a run and shoot, you take another lineman out and put an extra defensive back and only rush 3 people. And what's happening, teams are playing normal defenses against a run and shoot to do what? Not to stop the shoot, but to stop the run. So they're ganging up on the run. The reason is, Mouse Davis told me last night, was that our quarterbacks are not very accurate. Rodney Peete's only completing 54% of his passes. We want him to complete 60 to 65%. Until he does that, Sanders won't run.
All right, Terry, another team with blocking problems, the Cleveland Browns, whose quarterback Bernie Kosar has been sacked 13 times. Coach Bud Carson began the week suggesting he might switch to Mike Pagel, but later backed off. And Kosar will start today in Kansas City. Now, the question is, if this line can't pass block, can it run block?
No, I think it probably can run block. It can't pass block because they've got 4 new starters in 4 new positions. So Kosar can't carry this team anymore, and they need to run the football so he can get his play action going.
All right, well, here's a look at where the weather may affect play today. In Pittsburgh, the Dolphins and the Steelers will face cool temperatures and showers. Up in Buffalo, the same story for the Broncos and the Bills. It'll be chilly and wet. And still ahead, we'll look into that incident involving a female reporter in the New England Patriots locker room. And a caution, there will be some frank and mature language in this story as we continue live from New York on the NFL Today.
The NFL Today is sponsored by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. True Value Hardware Stores. You can do it with True Value Hardware Stores. And by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue is appointing a special counsel to investigate the locker room incident in Foxborough, Massachusetts, involving sports writer Lisa Olson. Olson claims she was sexually harassed by several New England Patriots while conducting interviews. Our Leslie Visser has been covering the NFL for 15 years now, and I know this is a particularly disturbing incident.
Craig, women have been absorbing heat in the locker room for years, but what makes this incident so disturbing is the sexual nature of the alleged remarks and the physical gestures involved, which were all compounded by the delayed reaction of management. One of the players who's already been named and fined is tight end Zeke Mowat.
2 seconds later, he's standing this close to me saying, "This is what you want." Comments like, "Take a bite out of this," right in my face. I refuse to look up. I'm trying to conduct an interview. I'm acting professionally. A couple other players do the same sort of thing. There's yelling in the background, just lewd comments. It wasn't like they all approached me at once. It was all individually. Went over a matter of time, about 10, 15 minutes. I finally could not handle it anymore.
Zeke Mowat and 4 teammates dispute Olson's story. Mowat claims that all he said was, "You aren't writing, you're looking," and has apologized for any embarrassment the comment caused her. Mowat wouldn't speak on camera, but the team fined him for his role in all this, and you can expect a defense that a far guiltier party has yet to emerge.
Our players' view of that incident is different from Lisa's view of the incident, and as I said before, we are going to back our players.
In addition, after last Sunday's game, Olson claims that team owner Victor Kayam, who is famous for selling his Remington shavers, called her a classic bitch as she tried to work in the locker room.
That quote is completely erroneous. I did indicate that I thought that the young lady was aggressive.
In newspaper ads taken out today, Khayyam produces witnesses to back his version and apologizes for other misleading remarks and Olsen's anguish. Left unchallenged is a quote from a Boston newspaper.
We're asking Paul Tagliabue to suspend Victor Khayyam. What he did was ridiculous, blatant lies. He condoned the sexual harassment.
Leaving the matter of what was done by whom aside, why has the issue of women in the locker room resurfaced? Every major sport has an equal access policy for members of the media. And lest anyone be confused, being in a locker room is not an erotic experience. The rooms are often hot and sweaty and crowded, and reporters, both male and female, want to simply do their job and leave. But some athletes concerned with privacy wear bathrobes or towels for protection.
After a game, I'm sore, I'm tired. It's easier to walk through the locker room naked than diving for a towel or a robe or something.
If a woman does come into the locker room, I have to go and I have to leave the room.
Do you see it as a male domain that...
No, that's old stuff now.
Men don't go in women's locker rooms, so I think, there should be a point where men have some type of freedom.
That is inaccurate. At the U.S. Open, the women's locker room is open to all reporters, and the same is true for the NCAA Women's Final Four. But still there are men like Tiger pitcher Jack Morris, who upon seeing a female reporter in the locker room this summer, responded in the crudest way. With that as background, we await the resolution of the Olsen-Patriots dispute. Are you fairly certain, though, that something of this nature wouldn't happen again?
I don't think it would happen again. I didn't think it would happen then.
It's a good thing about this country, the actions of a few people, no matter how ignorant they are, it just seems to heighten awareness. It doesn't set back the cause.
I spoke with Lisa Olsen a few minutes ago, and she told me that she and Victor Khayyam met at a restaurant this morning for an hour and a half, and that he assured her that there would be, quote, major changes in the front office of the Patriots. Greg, I understand this to be that they will be firing General Manager Patrick Sullivan.
Well, let's pose the question to the man in charge, because the owner of the New England Patriots, Victor Khayyam, joins us now. And Victor, thank you for taking the time to join us. Can you confirm that? Will there be changes in the front office as a result of this?
First, I want to offer my apologies to Lisa Olsen. Regrettably, I knew nothing of this incident for 6 days. As a matter of fact, the reporter for the Herald who called me and from which my quotes were derived mentioned to his editor, it's shocking that he doesn't know anything about it. I will say there will be definite changes. I also want to say that I admire and respect Lisa Olsen.
You say that there will be changes.
And I want to say one other thing about Lisa. This is a very courageous lady. She's going into a situation which is extremely difficult and doing a job assigned to her. There will be changes. I think what has happened here is something that could happen anywhere in America, where people have stood by and not taken the defense of someone when they are being harmed. What might have seemed to be a prank was not. And I apologize to Lisa. I apologize for the misinformation that I have been given by Patriots management.
Mr. Khayyam, many people across the country are calling for the suspension and for fines for the players. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we should have an investigation. The commissioner has called for one, and I 100% support it. I think there has got to be a halt to this type of harassment in any situation.
Mr.
You know,
Khayyam?
the wonderful thing, and then I'm finished, the wonderful thing that happened is that when I heard the true facts from Lisa as to what had occurred, and they pretty much carried out what Zeke Moat had alleged in his press release, what might have seemed a prank was not.
Victor,
and if Saddam Hussein and George Bush talked together, maybe there would be a resolution too.
Well, that's a lofty statement. Victor Khayyam, how has this changed you? Do you feel like your consciousness has been raised and maybe that's been the effect around the country?
No, I don't think that I ever have had a problem. I have one company which has 2,100 people and over 2,000 are ladies. The problem I had in my first comments were that 6 days after the event, the reporter says, I hope I'm not disturbing you. I hope that the next time something like this happens, I am called immediately rather than 6 days after the fact and told about an incident that I knew nothing of for 2 hours, and then at the end of it, I say, I have to worry about a game. I know this is important to Lisa, but at the moment, this is a fly speck in the ocean. I've got to go.
Victor, when will you be...
I retract that statement, of course.
Victor, when will you be meeting with Patrick Sullivan?
I've already had a discussion with Patrick on the way back from Lisa's. We drove here together. He is issuing a statement to the press right now, and I will be meeting with him this afternoon, and we will be jointly issuing a statement. But I don't think at this juncture any dramatic moves should be made other than a temporary one of suspension until we see the results of the commissioner's investigation.
So what you're saying...
And we definitely want that, and I urge every one of our players, those that were just in attendance, who witnessed this, to step forward. The best thing, I apologize. I didn't think I was guilty, but I apologized. And I asked those people in the locker room at the time of the incident, this young lady has suffered enough. She's been demeaned. They've questioned why she was in the locker room. It's the law.
All right, Victor Kayam, thank you very much for joining us, for taking the time. And Terry, you, of course, when you were playing, there were women coming into the locker room. What was your reaction as a player?
When it first happened, you have to understand, I came in the 70s, and we didn't have women in the locker room, and I did interviews outside the locker room door, and one of them was with Leslie in a parking lot. And times we all adjust to them, and I got used to it. Now, I was uncomfortable, so I kept my clothes on. It's no big deal, but I find nothing wrong with it. They have a job to do. They have the right to be in there to get the same stories as the male reporters, and I never gave it any thought until this came up, and it's terribly unfortunate.
We shouldn't lose sight of the fact that while this was a disgraceful event up in Boston, there were hundreds of women across the country doing their jobs without incident. And when on all the talk shows I was on all week, people would say, well, if you send a woman in the locker room, you've got to expect that. But I would ask those people to just think of a wife or a sister or a mother who's struggling in the marketplace for equal opportunity.
Sure. What we're doing here is we're trying to legislate against immaturity in the locker room is what it boils down to. Coming up next, the NFL Today Eye peers into the future and finds Chicago Bear linebacker Mike Singletary looking into retirement. That story is next as we continue on the NFL.
Yes. The Giants Stadium, the Cowboys and the Giants. We are live and sold out as per usual. Again, I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. These two teams just played 2 weeks ago. The Giants dominated that contest. What do you think the Cowboys have to do today?
Well, you know, I think the Cowboys kind of have an advantage as to what they do is just do what you didn't do last time, because what you did last time didn't work at all. And I think that's what the Cowboys are thinking. They're going to use some 4 linebackers because they figure they have to stop the run of the Giants. They're going to blitz more. They didn't blitz any in the first game. They want to try and throw more on first down, play pass, those types of mixture things, but just have a game plan unlike the first one.
The Giants off to a 3-0 start. They sort of wonder about what to expect from the Cowboys, don't they?
Well, they probably know that. The Cowboys aren't going to do the same thing. I know one thing. Bill Parcells is scared to death, and so is the rest of the team, because these are the kind that worry you, the ones where you just beat them a couple of weeks ago. And I think they would like to do the same thing, but they know they're not going to be able to do it. But I know one thing. By starting Lawrence Taylor today, Bill Parcells is sending out a message. Hey, this is a big game. It's a division game. It's an important game. If they don't start him, then the guys can say, this is no big deal. But by starting him, I think it's a message to everyone, this is a big deal.
Both Mark Bavaro and Lawrence Taylor are available. How much Bavaro will play remains to be seen. Taylor will start. The Giants will be on offense first. Morosco was supposed to start in Bavaro's place at tight end.
I think that's a big thing, too, Pat, because the Giants now use so much 2 and 3 tight ends that if Bavaro can't play, then Maurice Carthon will be that third tight end.
Ken Willis, the Cowboys rookie kicker, set to kick it off. Dave Meggett and Rodney Hampton, the 2 game breakers back deep for the Giants. Number 1 is Willis. Turned out to be a beautiful day. short kick. It's going to be Hampton at the 8. Out to about the 29, knocked out of bounds by Ron Francis. Phil Simms opens at quarterback, as he has for a long, long time. Hard to believe Phil Simms is going to be 35 years old in November. Up front, what has become a veteran solid offensive line. Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Moore, and Riesenberg. And Morosco is starting at tight end. Otis Anderson and Maurice Carthon, the two runners. Anderson does most of it. Ingram and Turner, the wide receivers. That's Carthon on the move. Anderson to the right. First down. Knocked out of bounds by Vince Albritton.
The Cowboys might have to get those 4 linebackers in right away, Pat.
This is what they'll start with. Stubbs, Hamill, Noonan, and Jeffcoat up front. 3 linebackers at the moment. Del Rio, Lockhart in the middle, and Ken Norton. And the secondary, Holt and Williams, the corners. Horton and Albritton, the safety. 1st and 10 from the 44. Tight end set up, and this is Anderson again. Knocked down several Cowboys and an official.
That's running when you can get that whole thing, when you can get through a hole, knock down some of them, and a couple of years and an official.
And he got his hat even.
Watch this, you get good line blocking in there, good movement. There you run over a Cowboy right there, you find an official, you finish him off. Whatever's moving, run over it.
2nd and 2. Sims to throw it. For Odessa Turner. Their feet got tangled up. Robert Williams was the Cowboy defender.
Now, there was a bump down there, and the ball was in the air, and I'm sure they're going to say that no one caused the bump. It can be either offensive pass interference or defensive pass interference, or no problem, and that was really a no problem. They were just running, and their feet got tangled up.
Good coverage.
Now, if you look at the Giants, this is one of their problems, Pat. They've thrown 27 times to the running backs, only 10 times to the wide receivers, 7 to the tight end. The wide receivers have only caught 10 passes in 3 games.
They need 2 yards for a first. Anderson is close. Stopped by Lockhart.
A big part of this Giant offense, as we talked earlier, is always having more than one tight end in there. Sometimes it's Howard Cross and 2 tight ends. Sometimes it's 3. But they always run in there behind that power. Now, Bill Parcells probably goes for more 4th downs than anyone in the league. So if this is short, I bet he's going to go for it anyway.
Well, he's going to have to make that decision.
Look at that. He's 3 for 3. That's an easy decision. I mean, all you have to do is fall down and hope for a good spot. They love it. The fans love that, don't they? 4th down. Go, go, go. You know, and then if it doesn't work, what a stupid call that was already.
They put an extra offensive lineman in, Brian Williams. Anderson and Carthon behind Sims. He got it, but not by much. Vince Albritton up to make the hit.
You know, by going for it on 4th down, those are the things that give you that time of possession. You know, by being able to keep the ball, and this guy is a master at it, a master at playing good, solid, strong defense and possession-type offense. These are the ingredients that make the Giants the Giants.
The 2 wide receivers come wide left. Ingram and Baker. Ingram is the man in motion. Blitz coming after Sims. He read it, picked it up, got it to his tight end, Morosco. Albritton knocked him out of bounds, a pickup of only 4. Jack Del Rio is the man with the pressure.
I was just saying, talking about pickups, Bob Morosco, a Plan B free agent from Houston, was a good pickup. You know, when Jack Pardee came to the Houston Oilers, Morosco was a starter. Jack Pardee was going to the run and shoot, and he carried 8 wide receivers and no tight end. So there was no job for Morosco. And he came up here, and Bill Parcells says, we use a lot of tight ends. Look at any of our films you want to. Morosco did, and decided he wanted to play for the Giants.
2nd down and 5.5. Anderson again. And nothing there this time. Met by Jack Del Rio and Jim Jeffcoat.
This is the formation that the Giants really like to run, Pat. If you look here, they put 3 tight ends out here. Now they call this load. And then what they do is that gives them the tackle and the 3 tight ends. Then they have the one back here and just try and get in behind it. They made a living at that against the Cowboys. You see, Carthon is one of them. He goes in motion, but then they get out in there behind the 2 tight ends and the pulling tackle.
Now they've got Meggett in the backfield with Sims out of the shotgun. Ingram in motion. Sims, Odessa Turner. 1st down Giants. Tackled by Manny Hendricks. Pickup of 10.
I think if there's anything the Giants offensively have to do differently, it's to get the ball more to the wide receivers. And because if they don't, the defenses are going to shrink up on them. They're going to start jumping on the tight ends and the running back. And that was the 11th pass that all the wide receivers combined have caught in 4 games.
1st down, Giants at the Cowboy 31. 1st quarter, 10:35 remaining, no score. Anderson left side. Bill Parcells was saying yesterday, Otis Anderson doesn't have the speed he once had, but he never makes a mistake. He always makes the correct cut, knows how to use the blockers.
And he's just a natural runner. I mean, he learned to run, and he's a natural runner. On that last play, the Cowboys, again, on 1st down, ganged up on the run. They did use the 4 linebackers. They were what we call a 4-4-3. Now they're back into a 4-3-4.
2nd and 7. Carthon on the move again, and Anderson gets the carry. Runs into the back of Dean Hamill, and that was effective enough.
That was the thing. Hamill got penetration over there. He's going against Eric Moore. He got penetration, got in the backfield, and Otis Anderson couldn't make that cut.
Lost a yard. 3rd and 8.
Hey, on this 3rd and long, the Cowboys bring in 2 guys, a rookie, Jimmy Jones, and Tony Tolbert, a 2nd-year guy who they really like on pass rushing situations. They both play inside.
Now here's that formation where both Rodney Hampton and Meggett are in the game. They both come out of the backfield. To Hampton, batted away by Albritton. Had a shot at an interception.
Well, of course, they're starting to know now when they go to that formation, the 2 guys, they're going to try and hit one of those 2 guys coming out of the backfield.
Matt Barr just signed yesterday. Cut by Cleveland on the last cut in training camp this year. But he's been working out and is ready. We'll see. 47 yards away from Matt Barr with Hostetler holding. High enough, but not long enough. Not good. They have had 8 different place kickers under Bill Parcells since he's been head coach. In the 1st quarter, the Giants kept the ball just a little over 6 minutes. To open the game, Troy Aikman starts at quarterback for Dallas. His competition from Steve Walsh, a thing of the past. Up front, Tuine curve. Stepnoski, Slayton, Nate Newton moved to tackle, and Jay Novacek, the tight end. Emmett Smith and Alonzo Highsmith, the 2 running backs. Maybe 2 for Highsmith. Here is that Giant defense ranked #1. Eric Dorsey, Eric Howard, and John Washington up front. The fine linebacking core: Banks, Diassi, Pepper Johnson, and Lawrence Taylor. In the secondary, Thompson and Walls. The corners: Myron Guyton and Greg Jackson, the safety men. 2nd and 8. Dennis McKinnon split wide to the left and Kelvin Martin to the right. That's Emmett Smith. Walls made the stop. Picked up 4. 12 plays, 6 minutes, 1 second. The drive went 41 yards, and Barr missed the 47-yard field goal. 3rd and 4. Emmett Smith, the lone setback. Their #1 draft choice. Draw play, Smith. Not a first down. Pepper Johnson made the stop. Pepper's full of fire.
He sure is. He stays that way. I think the Cowboys were trying to foul him up, you know, to run on a passing down. Jimmy Johnson said they were going to do a lot of that, try and pass on running downs and run on some passing downs. Well, the run on the passing down there didn't work at all.
The league's leading punter, Mike Saxon, back for the Cowboys, and Dave Meggett, ever dangerous, back for the Giants. Off the side of his foot, trying to kick it away from Meggett, I'm sure. That did not look like the NFL's leading punter. 27 yards. Giants take it over. Giant Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 0-0. A little reconstruction being done on the Dallas sideline.
Well, you know what happens, Pat? They'll break the insides of it, and they have to put it back together. Sometimes they'll break a mast, and they have to put that back on.
Sims to Hampton this time. And the rookie #1 draft choice from Georgia is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
One thing that Phil Sims was talking about yesterday, that he thinks that, you know, that the Cowboys are going to gang up on that first down run. And if you keep running sweeps like that, they are going to gang up on it. I think somewhere early they're going to have to throw some on first down, throw some play passes to loosen them up a little.
Sims overthrow, flag on the play. Intended for Baker. Covered by Robert Williams. Penalty marker on the play.
That's going to be holding against the Giants. It'll be interesting to see whether the Cowboys take that penalty to turn it down, because it's
holding.
Incomplete.
Offense, number 60. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
I think that's a good call, because it not only brings up 3rd down, but it brings up 3rd and 10. And this is the thing where the Giants go to that shotgun, have the 2 backs in the backfield, and try and hit one of those backs running that scat pattern. Cowboys will probably jump on that, because they don't have a lot of success of getting the receivers up beyond the 10 yards.
They go with just Meggett this time. Back with Sims out of that spread formation, and 4 wide receivers. Incomplete. No flags. And the Giants will have to punt. Intended for Lionel Manuel.
And that's the type of game Bill Parcells didn't want to get into. See, that's what happens when you run on first down and don't get anything. Then you end up 2nd and long, and then 3rd and long. And Sims had trouble passing both of those times to his outside receiver.
Flag on the play, a bad snap. The Cowboys did not get all the players off the field. Landeta was forced to run with the ball, but the Cowboys are going to get a penalty.
That could have been a big break for the Cowboys. If it's against the Giants that they're signaling, then it could be a break for the Cowboys.
There are 2 fouls on the play.
An offset.
Illegal motion. Number 55 of the offense. 12 men on the field. On the defense. The penalty's offset. 4th down.
So that's a break for the Giants.
Oh, boy, is it.
As did you say, the Cowboys had 11 men on there and one trying to get off. There's the special teams coach. You always know who the special teams coach is. The guy that gets up there on 4th down and starts pointing.
Landetta standing back at his 20. Rod Harris deep for the Cowboys. Line drive kickoff handled by Harris. And Renee Thompson down to cut him down. None better than number 21 at covering kicks. Kickoffs or punts. 39-yard punt, 5-yard return. Back at Giant Stadium, 0-0 with 5:22 left to play in the first quarter. Aikman back to throw it. Pass caught by Dennis McKinnon right at midfield. Pickup of 17.
You know, let's watch the last one, Pat. You see, the Cowboys are going for a block in here, so that leaves them one out here. And this guy here, Renee Thompson, is probably the best cover guy on a punt that there is in football. So you usually double him. But when you go for a block, you can't double him. Landetta had a poor punt. It was a line drive. And if Thompson doesn't make this play, it could have been a big gainer.
Aikman fumble. Giants get it back. Biasi. They messed up the exchange, and the Giants get their break. A turnover.
But they had just come with a first down pass, got a big completion, got to midfield, and then it's just a snap. I don't know that the ball got up there. I know that last time Mark Stebnowski, the center, had a lot of problems with the nose tackle, Eric Howard.
So the Giants will take over just in Cowboy territory. 1st and 10. Hampton is the lone setback. And the handoff is to Rodney Hampton. Isaac Holt came up to make the stop. He's been playing very well.
Yeah, he missed last week. He's had a groin pull. He was out last week and coming back today. Jimmy Johnson thinks he's one of the good things that defense has.
2nd and 7. Again, they go with the 2 wide receivers on the same side. Orozco, the tight end, on the left, and Carthon on the other side. Hampton still the lone runner. Screen pass to him. Eugene Lockhart and Vince Albritton finally got him down after a gain of 13.
That was a screen pass. Phil Simms was telling us yesterday, in the 12 years he's been with the Giants, he said with these running backs, he said they throw screens better than they ever have. And of course, when you have a screen like this, you get a guy, Hampton, who has moves and speed out in the open field with 2 blockers in front of him. You have a chance to get big plays, especially when the defense is playing a zone defense.
Quickly, the Giants give to Hampton, who gets inside the 30.
You know, quarterbacks like those screen passes too, because they're just like running plays. You know, you don't have to worry about guys getting open because you throw it behind the line of scrimmage. The guy is always open. It's a high percentage pass, and if you have a loose defense, your chances of getting a big play out of it are pretty good.
It'll be 2nd and 8. Ingram and Baker to the wide to the right. Play pass fake. Drops it out to Howard Cross.
That was the darndest thing I've ever seen. That was off a bootleg. You get the backs going one way, the back going one way, the quarterback going the other way. Now Simms does a heck of a job here. because he commits that he's going to run. You see, now then the defense comes up, and boom, he just put it over his head to Howard Cross. If the defense lays back, Sims going to run for the first down. You really get that linebacker out there. That was Ken Norton. You really put him on an island and in a bind.
1st and 10 at the Dallas 17. Hampton to about the 12, stopped by Jeff Coate and Albritton.
I like this Rodney Hampton. You know, usually a player that can run screen passes can usually run sweeps, and I don't know why. And a guy that goes inside, you know, and can pick a hole in the middle can't run a screen pass. So Hampton is the kind of guy who can catch a pass for you, run a screen, and a sweep.
Strangely, too, John, you know, there are certain quarterbacks who can run screen passes and certain who can't.
Well, remember John Brody?
Sure.
John Brody was the best screen throwing quarterback ever.
Sims to throw it. Touchdown, Ingram.
Jimmy Johnson's thinking those turnovers kill you. Tell you, that was a great mixture on that drive of run, pass, inside out. Great mixture of offensive plays.
And a good throw by Phil Sims. Barr will try the extra point with Hostetler holding. Timeout for a moment.
If we watch, only one back in the backfield, and Sims is going to get good pass protection. He's looking right all the way. It's a corner pattern. Ingram's running a corner pattern, and Sims had his eyes on him the whole way.
Extra point by Barr is good. And the Giants lead it 7-0 with 1:33 left to play in the first quarter. The Giants lead 7-0. 1:33 left to play in the first quarter. Matt Barr set to kick off. James Dixon and Alexander Wright. That's going to be Dixon. Out to about the 28.
You know, on that touchdown, Pat, the reason the Giants wanted to get in there and kick it so quickly is Mark Ingram is right here. He's going to run a corner pattern, and he is out of bounds. He goes out of bounds there, and he doesn't have both feet in. He's up in the top, and watch him. He'll start in, then he goes to the corner. Now, he catches this ball. When he catches it there, he wasn't in bounds. They gave him the touchdown, and they didn't want to look at that. Look, his left foot is on the line and his right foot is out. So they came up there and smartly kicked that thing quickly.
They did review it, but they reviewed what was on the original play that we showed. Dennis McKinnon with the catch from Aikman. 20-yard pickup and a first down, Cowboys.
Now you wonder how Renee Thompson missed that one. A defensive back can either go for the ball or go for the man. Renee Thompson went for the ball, and the man caught it. You wonder how it got through Renee Thompson.
Didn't look like it had a chance. Giants continue to dominate the clock. The draw play to Alonzo Highsmith. Not much there. 3-yard gain, perhaps. Eric Dorsey made the stop.
Yeah, there's probably no better team in football at playing the first down run from their base defense. You know, their lineman, you see Dorsey there, he's a two-gapper. On the other side, they got Washington, he's a two-gapper. They got Howard in the middle, who really controls the center. Then they got Diassi and Pepper Johnson stuff in the middle. There's really no place to run on first down.
second down. Emmett Smith steps out of one tackle, but not out of the next one. Everson Walls came up to make the stop. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Giants 7, the Cowboys nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle Dealers, where you get the advantage. The Upjohn Company. If you're concerned about hair loss, see your doctor. And by Bud Dry. Why ask why? Try Bud Dry for refreshment that's beyond question.
Second quarter coming up at Giant Stadium. Giants leading 7-0. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 3rd and 7. Here comes the all-out blitz. Aikman read it pretty well. Jay Novacek, the tight end, broke a tackle and got 10 yards and a first down. Everson Walls.
That's one thing you learn as a young quarterback, Troy Aikman in his second year, is you learn how to read a blitz quickly and get rid of the ball, because in your first year, you're probably going to see more blitzes than any other quarterback. So one thing you come out of that first year with is you know what a blitz is, what it looks like, and you can feel when it's coming.
And he got another lesson last week against the Redskins.
He took 8 sacks last week.
First down, Aikman back to throw. Novacek again. Should be enough for another first down. Walls again on the tackle with Guyton.
One of the things Jimmy Johnson wanted to do when he took over the Cowboys a year ago is get some more speed into the offense, and one of the guys that added a little speed to him is the tight end, Jay Novacek. Of course, he also added some ability and some height, and you like that big, 6'4", 6'5" tight end that you can always find inside over those big linemen.
Martin to the left, McKinnon to the right. Highsmith and Smith. That's Emmett, the fake to him. Passes out to Novacek with more room. Inside the 10, finally knocked out of bounds by Guyton and Pepper Johnson.
I'll tell you one thing the Giants don't want to do is give this Cowboy offense too much confidence, and they're giving a lot to Aikman, or Aikman's getting a lot. He's 5 for 5 now. But this is a heck of a fake. He comes in there, fakes with one hand, then he goes to the other side. That's a bootleg. The tight end blocks and then comes to the out. Everyone went for the run fake. No one was with Jay Novacek.
Good block by McKinnon to spring Novacek for the last few yards. First and goal at the 7. Emmett Smith to about the 5. And that's all. 2-yard gain.
You were talking about the Giant defense, Pat. There's Bill Belichick, who's the defensive coordinator. But, they play first down run awfully tough. They also play goal line awfully tough. It's a very difficult thing when you get down there to get in the end zone with the run against the Giants. I think the best thing to do is play fake and try and pass or that bootleg type thing.
Darrell Johnston is in the backfield. Aikman out of the end zone, off the crossbar. Novacek was the intended receiver. Make it 3rd and 5 now.
Hey, he drilled that thing, didn't he? He knew when you get down here, he has a field goal, and he's not going to do anything stupid and throw an interception. So you look in there, and if your guys aren't open, you just heave that thing out of the end zone. Trying to do that, he hit the crossbar.
Third and goal at the 5. Aikman back to throw it in the corner. Kelvin Martin wrapped up just inside the 5 by Renee Thompson.
Yeah, the two biggest tackles of the game thus far have been made by Renee Thompson. Sean Landata got off a poor punt. Renee Thompson down in the punt coverage makes a tackle. Here it's third down. They're going to complete the pass, but you have to make the tackle. If he breaks the tackle, it's a touchdown. I never liked throwing this one this short, but he has to make the tackle there, or they're going to score the 6, and now they have to settle for going for the field goal.
Ken Willis, 3 out of 5 from 22 yards this time. Kick is good, and the Cowboys are on the board with 11 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the first half, and it's 7-3 Giants. Cowboys just got on the scoreboard with a 22-yard field goal. One thing they've been able to do is protect Aikman.
I think it's a big confidence builder for the Dallas offense. And the other thing that I noticed is two guys in the Giant defense really aren't healthy. Lawrence Taylor isn't playing at full speed. Eric Howard, something happened to him the last 3 plays. He was just catching blocks.
Willis kick to Meggett. And he breaks out of the pack. Finally, he's wrapped up at the 40. Ron Francis, 30-yard return by Meggett. Boy, he's a weapon.
Yeah, this is probably the most exciting thing that has happened to the New York Giants in the last 3 years is Dave Meggett, because he's given them this. I mean, this is not only a kick return, he's a punt returner, he's a third down receiver. They needed speed. He was a 5th-round draft choice, Pat, and now guys are drafting guys in the 1st round to be like Dave Meggett.
They're going to have to go to work. They're going to be like Dave Meggett.
And then they have Hampton now. I mean, they added some speed and some life to this offense.
1st and 10 at their own 40. Sims is going to throw it. Outside quickly to Maurice Carthon. Juggled and came up with it. Ken Norton out there to cover him after a 3-yard gain.
Troy Aikman is probably doing there, Pat, is talking about what's going to happen the next time we get down inside the 10-yard line. You know, that's when you're right after it happens, you say, look, these are the coverages they gave us. This is a pattern we ran. Next time we get down there, let's do this.
2nd and 7. They're discussing it.
I think they're probably looking to see if Carthon caught the ball is what they looked at.
Hampton in the backfield. Baker with the reception and a Giant 1st down and a gain of 14.
There's Lawrence Taylor in the sideline. You know, there was all the talk last week, you know, should he have been in the game? Heck, it's a game. It's a football game. You go play. Banks was in there. All the rest of the guys were in there. I think today, just watching him so far, that left hamstring is bothering him.
It's a little tender.
Yeah, he really hasn't made a play, and thus far, he hasn't looked like Lawrence Taylor.
1st down at the Dallas 44. Hampton to the 40. A gain of 4. Stopped by Lockhart and Hamill.
You know, one of these things that one of the advantages Giant running backs have, like Rodney Hampton and, you know, like Dave Meggett when he came in a year ago, like Lewis Tillman, they have Otis Anderson, 12-year veteran, and they all kind of hang around Otis because no matter what the situation or the game or the week, Otis has been there. And he's kind of like the grandfather to all these guys.
Right now, it's Hampton that's getting the playing time. Sims out of the pocket. Got his man. Ingram to the 25 and a 15-yard gain. Stopped by Isaac Holt.
And you have to give that one to pass protection, Pat, because he had so much time. Ingram was the 2nd receiver. Watch, he's looking right, then he goes left. He can't find anything over there. Now he has to move around. Now he still looks. Now he comes back to the right again and throws out of his right side and finds Ingram. So Ingram on that play was really his 3rd receiver.
1st and 10 at the 25. Anderson is back as the running back. Now they'll they'll start grinding. Anderson tripped up at about the 23 by Robert Williams.
Boy, did he get a nice block out there from Maurice Carthon, though. He was out there in the wing, and someone started to come, and he knocked his sinuses open. One thing Carthon will do, you know, he doesn't get a lot of carries or a lot of catches, but he will block you. Watch right here, 44, boink. Right there, that's the one that snaps the head back and clears out the nostril passages. You don't have anything left up in there.
It does get your attention. 2nd and 8. About the 23. They get it outside to Hampton. To about the 21, a pickup of 3. Del Rio and Lockhart there to meet him.
Yeah, I talked about the mixture. I really like the mixture that the Giants have had. They've had like half and half have been running pass. That Eric Dorsey over there, they look like they're looking for a contact.
Yeah.
Well, that's the way they put in contact lenses now. You know, they got mirrors in the sideline. A lot of times those guys get hit and boom, those things just pop right out of their eyes.
3rd and 6 at the Dallas 21. 3 wide receivers to the right. Now there are 2 as Ingram leads. Caught by Meggett. Short of a first down.
This is going to be another interesting call for Bill Parcells. He's perfect, 100%. The fans want him to go for it. Do you kick the field goal here with a 7-3 lead, or do you go for the first down? I think he's already decided he's going to kick the field goal.
Well, you need about 1.5 yards, maybe a little bit more than that. Hostetler will hold for Matt Barr.
They got a play, and I saw him working out yesterday. It's called Apache, and that's where they fake the kick.
Barr's kick is good from 34 yards, and that makes it 10-3 Giants with 6:11 left to play in the first half. Back at Giants Stadium, Cowboys have the ball at their own 24-yard line, trailing 10-3 with 6 minutes and 2 seconds left in the first half. Reverse. This guy can fly. First down by Alexander Wright, stopped by Greg Jackson.
Yeah, last time they played, Alexander Wright had a big kick return against the Giants, and Bill Parcells says, this is the guy that I'm worried about. He said, I'll tell you one thing, I don't know where they're going to use him or how they're going to use him, but I know one thing, he's faster than any guy we got that's going to be trying to catch him. So the Cowboys used him on a reverse.
He is split wide to the left this time. Aikman straight ahead. Alonzo Highsmith for 2 yards.
I think those are the kinds of things that the Cowboys have to do. You know, they have to get some reverses, some play passes. They just can't play vanilla offense into this Giant defense.
2nd and 8. .50 left to play in the first half. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 10-3 the Giants lead. Pitch back to Emmitt Smith. Nothing there. Eric Dorsey brought him down for the loss of a yard.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to run on Dorsey over there, and then that's part of the bad news, and the other part of the bad news is Carl Banks is right side by side. So you get the strength of Dorsey. He holds up that tackle, strings it out, and strings it right into Banks.
Makes it 3rd and 9 at the 37. Darrell Johnston is the lone setback. Aikman back to throw. They pick it up. Pass incomplete, intended for Alexander Wright.
You know, Lawrence Taylor may not be full speed, but they're still doubling him. Watch him here. He's going to start out here, and then he's going to go inside and start on a spin. Boom, the tackle gets him, the guard gets him, and he almost splits both of them. He has a pulled hamstring, and he's not at full ability today, but they still have to take 2 on him.
Saxon back to kick. That's Dave Meggett, of course.
Saxon's going to try and directional kick again to kick away from Meggett.
Well, he got the direction, I guess. He got it away from him again. 23-yard kick that time. 10-3, Giants lead. The Giants 10, Dallas 3. Late in the first half. Giants scoring summary. Sims to Ingram. Willis a 22-yard field goal for the Cowboys. Barr from 34 yards for the Giants. Makes it what it is, 10-3. Sims to his tight end, Bob Morosco.
You know, there's no one that throws that pass better than Phil Sims, and it's against the zone. He usually throws it to Bavaro, and that's why he misses Bavaro. But it's called a seam pass, and the tight end just runs right up the seam, right straight through the seam of a zone. You know, as zones, as linebackers and safeties go out, then you have lanes, and those lanes are called seams, and they just run right in the seams, and Sims hits them.
2nd and 10. From the 40. Screen pass coming to Hampton, who shook one tackle and now is off to the races. Isaac Holt finally tripped him up after a gain of 22.
That's the second screen pass. The first one was a good screen. This one here, Hampton makes it. See, he starts on the screen. His blockers don't get out there. See, he beats the blockers out there. So now if you're going to do that, you have to make the tackler miss. He made Ken Norton miss him, and then he comes up with another 30 yards. He has added explosiveness. Once the blockers didn't get out there, Hampton was smart enough to know it. If your blockers didn't get there yet, run back to where they were.
On first down, it's Otis Anderson. Hit first by Jack Del Rio. Hampton has 3 catches, by the way, for 38 yards.
Hey, that has been a real addition. You know, you add a Hampton to a Meggett, and then if they could get something more from the wide receivers, then they're really going to have an explosive offense. They got Carthon in there. He does the blocking. The line's coming along. Sims, of course, is the seasoned veteran. I couldn't believe he's 35 years old.
Going to be in November. 2nd and 6. Carthon on the move. Here's Anderson. To the 11. 23-yard ramble.
That is a perfect example of stretch and cut back.
2 minutes remain in the first half. Looking down at Giant Stadium from the MetLife blimp. Captained today by Joe Whalen and John McGuirk. He is hovering overhead. 1st and 10 at the 11. After a 23-yard run by Otis Anderson. This is Carthon. Struggles down to about the 7, stopped by Lockhart.
You know, watch this run. You know, here's the stretch. You start out here and then cut back. Just watch what happens. You see, you get the stretch here. Now look what Otis Anderson sees. You see, he gets out here. Now he sees this. Look at this lane to his left. Boom, he hits that thing and it's wide open. But he did that by taking the pitch and stretching the defense, then seeing what was left for his cutback.
Second and 6. It's Hampton and Carthon behind Sims. Touchdown. Roscoe. 7 yards out.
Get the tight end. Just tell him run in the end zone and stop and turn around. That's what Morosco did. Right there, just get inside and stop. And boom, you just throw it in there to him.
Barr for the extra point. Hostetler holding. That makes it 17-3 Giants, as Sims is 12 out of 17 with 2 touchdowns. The Giants 17, Dallas 3. Roscoe caught the touchdown pass. The other 2 tight ends in conversation with him. Cross and Navarro.
Yeah, the guy that catches it is always the happiest. The guy that throws it is equally as happy. The guys that blocked, you know, they're happy. The guys that blocked for it. And then the other guys that play the same position are probably the next in line in the happiness meter. Oh, and then the coach is happy. The guy that coaches the group.
Barr hits a short kick. Alexander Wright did a remarkable job to hold on. Don't forget college football on CBS next Saturday. Florida State against Miami. It's at 2 o'clock. Seminoles ranked number 2. Miami number 10. They both won last night.
Hey, Renee Thompson made a heck of a play on making that tackle. Watch this guy. He plays special teams coverage like no one that I have ever seen. He has the knack of getting down there, getting open, and making the tackle. He just throws his body in there. Now he's also the starting corner. This is going to hurt the Giants because they have to take him out. They not only lose the best special teams player in football, but they also lose their starting left corner.
They're working on his right hand or right arm.
That could be one of those finger dislocations, Pat, where the palm is down, the fingers up. Looks like a thumb. They're holding his thumb.
A minute, 13 seconds left to play in the first half. Giants 17, Cowboys 3. Aikman draw play to Emmett Smith. 2-yard gain. Greg Jackson made the stop. Second and 8. Roger Brown has replaced Renee Thompson at left cornerback. Second and 8 from the 30 for the Cowboys. Giants leading 17-3 with 30 seconds remaining first half. Just going to run it out. Smith stopped by Banks. 3-yard pickup.
You know, Smith really hasn't had much to run in the first half. He's had 7 carries for only 13 yards. And, of course, he's their big #1 draft choice. If they were looking forward to big things from him, it's a tough indoctrination playing against this defense.
That's the end of the first half. With the score, the Giants 17, Dallas 3.
Out there. In fact, the whole team went in. The trainer and doctors stayed out there with Renee Thompson to get it taped. The word we got when they got into the locker room was, 1, that it was a dislocated thumb, and 2, he will be back and play in the second half.
Well, the Cowboys thought they had to run against this Giant defense. They haven't been able to do that.
They haven't been able to do anything. I mean, the Giant defense is a great defense, and you're not going to run on them on first down, so you got to get some first down passing and then get the ball, and they haven't been able to do that. The thing that I've been impressed with, Pat, is the mixture the Giants have had. You know, not only of run and pass, they're about half and half, but on the type of, you know, getting the ball to the receivers or running backs. Look, they've thrown 8 times to the receivers, 5 to the running backs, 4 to the tight end. So it's not only that they've had success in that first half, but they've had success moving the ball around to different players in different positions.
And the balance has also been very good.
Well, that's the thing. You know, sometimes the Giants tend to get one-dimensional on you. You know, that they're going to play strong defense, conservative offense. And today, in this first half, they really opened up the offense.
They've done a good job, no question about it. They've, again, dominated the ball in terms of occupying the clock.
Well, then if you look how they moved the ball around on the pass. Now, here's how they did it on the run. You see that they got 5 yards to the left, 23 in the middle, and their big gainers have been around the right end. They have 46 yards, and they're rushing to the right.
About set to begin the second half with the Giants leading the Cowboys 17-3. Matt Barr will kick it off in the direction of James Dixon and Alexander Wright. This will be Dixon. Cut down by Roger Brown, who replaced, as you'll recall, Renee Thompson in the secondary.
Tell you one thing about Renee Thompson, he can dislocate a thumb on the last play of the first half, and then on the first play of the second half, I'll tell you one thing, he doesn't try and avoid contact. He knows where the ball carrier is. He knows where it's going. There's Jack Del Rio, the big linebacker, and Bill Bates. They're going to double team him. You know that wherever Renee Thompson goes, he's going to draw a couple of blockers.
So it's first down Cowboys at their own 24. Trailing by 2 touchdowns. Aikman back to throw it. Kelvin Martin, first down Dallas. Renee Thompson on the coverage.
I think that's the thing that the Cowboys probably talked about in there at halftime is, one, maybe working on that corner over there, not knowing Renee Thompson would be back, but 2, going some play pass and throwing on first down. There's a backup quarterback now. The Cowboys, of course, traded Steve Walsh during the week, so their backup quarterback and only other quarterback now is Babe Laufenberg.
Aikman facing a blitz. And a flag on the play. Aikman was nailed by Gary Reasons. Renee Thompson on the coverage.
Reasons broke straight up the middle, and he was right in Aikman's face before he had a chance to do anything. He just threw it away.
That is the first penalty of this contest.
Illegal contact. Number 20 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
The referee, by the way, is Dale Hammer. But he's been very quiet today.
I don't know who number 20 of the defense is. This is 21, Renee Thompson. Giants don't have a 20 on defense or on their team, but I think it was against 21, Renee Thompson.
He chased again. Darrell Johnston, a big pullback, pulled down, shy of a first down by Reasons. They got 9.
You see the guy that was putting the pressure again on Aikman was Gary Reasons. Twice he has blitzed on passes, and twice he has really put the heat on him. Watch, they start to fake. Reasons sees it. He starts back, and then he just comes right in on Aikman.
2nd and 1. The Cowboys at the Giant 48. Highsmith knocked backward. No gain. Pepper Johnson made the initial contact.
Well, and again, Eric Howard had a big play in that. If you're going to run against a 3-man line, you have to get the nose tackle blocked. When when a nose tackle got big old guns hanging out of his shirt like that, it's tough to get him blocked. You see, and he gets penetrated. See, he knocked the center, Stepnoski, into the backfield. So there's no place Highsmith's going to go. Eric Howard just went boom, and he took that whole middle of the line.
3rd and short. The give is to Emmett Smith. He has the first down. Picked up 3, stopped by Walls.
Eric Howard is turning into one of the best nose tackles in the league. I mean, I think it's kind of, you know, in his 5th year, everything has fallen together for him, and he kind of figured out how to play this. Stepnoski's a 2nd-year center, and what Eric Howard did last time, it played his snap hand, his right hand, because you have to snap it with your right hand and get it back, and Howard always took his right shoulder.
Look how close he gets to it.
Yeah, he gets paint to paint.
Something's wrong with that play. Aikman just threw it away. They were trying to run a screen to Highsmith.
I'll tell you, that's one thing that drives coaches nuts, is when the announcer says something's wrong with that play. And you've been working all through training camp and practicing all week for it. Something's wrong with that play. That was ugly.
Could have something to do with Stepnoski being worried about Eric Howard, what you were talking about a minute ago.
Especially when he's taking your shoulder, your snap hand.
Emmett Smith going nowhere. Dorsey, Banks, Washington. Loss of 5.
You know, Everson Walls was talking about this defense. He was brought over from the Cowboys, and he said, you know, they don't expect the offense to gain anything. Taylor played that one great. He said everyone is supposed to be on the tackle. He said the linebackers are aggressive, and he said any new player that comes, it just permeates into the team.
3rd and 15. Aikman is going to have time, but he won't get a first down. Stopped at about the 41 is Kelvin Martin. Pickup of 8.
Of course, that's a tough thing when you're 3rd and 15. You not only not get a first down, but you don't get your team in field goal position, and they have to punt. And these Giant fans understand all of that.
Mike Saxon, who's had a tough day, came into this game leading the league. But the presence of Meggett makes you change everything.
Well, he was trying to directional punt, kick it away from Meggett, and he's had 2 shanks.
Saxon does the job this time. And James Dixon down it. The Giants will take over inside their own 5 with 10:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. MetLife blimp hovering overhead, travels over 10,000 miles a year. Covers network sporting events around the country. And it furnishes some spectacular shots. The 6, 1st and 10. Sims going to work. That one was for our CBS Sports sign.
Well, what happened there is Isaac Holt came up in a rotation and bumped the receiver that Sims was going to throw to. And if he would have thrown that ball when and where he was going to, it would have been an interception. Isaac Holt was right there.
It brings 2nd and 10 from the 6. That's Lewis Tillman, knocked down behind the line of scrimmage by Ken Norton.
Well, the Giants tried to fool them. They had all their strength over the left, and they tried to run to the right. and Kenny Norton came on a blitz. He's coming on what you call a run blitz. Watch 51. See, he's just filling in there. He's blitzing through the hole. He was blitzing through the hole to the side that they were running.
So it brings up 3rd and 14 from the 2.
This is where the Cowboys need a big defensive play. They have to get either a stop here or a turnover could be a score for them.
Well, they go with that 3 tight ends setup. Tillman is standing in the end zone, the running back. Now Carthon moves to the other side. Tillman is hit right at the line of scrimmage by Dean Hamill. Maybe got a yard.
Remember Dean Hamill when he used to play for the Redskins? They call him the Tasmanian Devil. He used to run down on kickoffs and coverage. He was a wild man. Traded over him, and he's very good against the runner. Not a big pass rusher, but he's good against the run.
Landetta standing back at the back of the end zone. Rod Harris back deep for Dallas.
This is a good time to come on a block.
Landetta gets off a good kick. And Renee Thompson. He's hurting, but he's there.
And that's why he's the best. In fact, as I watch him the last 2 years, he may be the best that has ever covered kickoff because he's a marked man and punts, and everyone knows he's coming down. They're all after him, but he still whips him.
44-yard punt by Landetta. Inside the Giant 30. Emerson Walls made the stop for a gain of 23 yards.
One thing about Aikman today, he's had pretty good protection, and I think that this guy is going to be a heck of a quarterback. And, you know, it's just a matter of time, not only for him, but for his teammates, you know, where he gets a full deck to play with. Because he can stand in there and he can throw that thing.
The Giants have put Perry Williams at the right cornerback where Walls did play and moved Walls to the left to replace Renee Thompson. Caught at the 10 by Kelvin Martin. 18-yard gain.
And that's the side that they're working too, Pat. You know, Renee Thompson got hurt just before the half, and the Cowboys came out, and most of the passes they've thrown have been on that right side. You know, the guy that could have made the play there was Greg Jackson, the safety. He looked like he pulled up. Had he run through that or run through that ball, it could have been a heck of a collision.
1st and 10 at the 10. That's Emmett Smith. Down to about the 3. A pickup of 7.
Isn't it amazing how the success on the pass loosens up a defense? You know, the Giants were up there stuffing that run, stuffing the run. Aikman hits 3 in a row, and now the whole defense loosens up.
2nd and goal now from the 3. Dennis McKinnon split out wide to the right. Emmett Smith, touchdown Dallas.
This is a guy that Jimmy Johnson says is going to be a heck of a player. I think, you know, one of the few times he gets excited when he's talking about his players is when he talks about Emmett Smith. Of course, he missed training camp. He was a #1 draft choice. Didn't work with the team, but he said the guy just has great natural talent to run. That's some move right there.
That's his first NFL touchdown. Willis to try the extra point. Novacek holding. And the Cowboys move to within a touchdown. It's 17-10. The Giants with 7:01 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
Brawl. Packers, Bears, Sunday, Bloody Sunday. Next weekend, 12:30 Eastern.
Giant Stadium, 7:01 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Giants lead Dallas 17-10. Willis will kick off. Meggett and Hampton will be back deep for the Giants. brought down by Bill Bates.
You know, as we watch this I formation and the touchdown, you're going to see Emmitt Smith in there and Alonzo Highsmith, 32. One of the reasons they traded for Highsmith was his blocking ability. And watch that lead. Boom, he gets a lead right there, and you see Smith right behind it run off the lead. Once they got Emmitt Smith, they felt that they needed a blocker, so they went out and traded for Alonzo Highsmith.
First down, Giants at their own 25, leading by 7. Anderson is the setback. Mims gets it out to Anderson. Another screen pass. Out of bounds after coming very close to a first down. Hit by Ken Norton.
You know, it's not only Rodney Hampton that runs the screen, but everyone is running the screen well on this team. Watch, you see, you block, 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 then you let them go, then you come down the line, and right there is the screen. You see it? Boom, you get the block there, they knock Kenny Norton down, and that gives you the first down. But what you do is you block, make it look like a pass, run down the line, form the screen on the outside.
They need about a half yard for a first down. Anderson will get it. Jeffcoat came down the line to stop him with Noonan. Picked up 4.
Watch your blocking by Moore here. You start out the right guard 60. You see, he allows penetration. And what happens there is then that play there, that's the thing that makes Otis Anderson make the move, because he let Hamill get in there. But Otis Anderson saved Moore on that play.
And gets the Giants a first down. Ingram is the man in motion this time. Sends, fires to cross in Cowboy territory. Vince Albritton knocked him down, but a pickup of 21.
Well, there's that seam pass we're talking about where you just run your tight end right down the seams, then you run your outside receiver on the outside seam, and if the safety goes over it, boom, you just hit the tight end. The Giants in the last 5 years have made a living on that pass.
Over and over again.
I remember the year they went to the Super Bowl, that was the thing they were always throwing to Bavaro.
Right. First down at the 42. Anderson with a good cut. And picked up good yardage because of that. 6 he got.
Yeah, that was a great cut. There were 2 Cowboys that weren't even blocked over there. And they came through the line of scrimmage, and they're both free standing there. And he shoots them some air. Watch him. There's 2 Cowboys right there, 2 free guys. He runs right by him. What is this? And then they don't tackle. Oh, boy, that's terrible. I mean, you got 3 guys out there that aren't blocked, and Otis Anderson shoots them some air.
And gets 6 yards.
Yeah, that's either great running or poor defense.
That's just a great cut. We were talking about that earlier. Anderson again. Close to a first down. Norton made the stop.
Yeah, if you look at what the Giants have done offensively, they're just about even, you know, with the type of thing. They've run 21 times and passed 20. You can't get a better mixture than that as far as 50-50 is concerned. The offensive line is really controlling the line of scrimmage. They're using all their running backs and receivers today and have great mixture.
They also have a first down.
Now, I think when you think of the good teams in this conference, you have to think of the Giants, the 49ers, the Rams, the Bears. These are the guys we're talking about, I think. The Eagles. I still like the Redskins.
Sims will throw a flag on the play. Sims caught in the backfield by Jeffcoat. But a penalty marker down. I think maybe Otis Anderson moved.
illegal motion. 2 men moving on the offense. The penalty is declined. Second down.
They'll take the sack and decline the penalty.
That's one thing. You know, you can have one guy in motion, and then you can have 2 guys move, but if they move, one guy has to set for a second before the ball snaps.
2nd and 16 now. That's the first sack of the day. Meggett split wide to the left this time. Baker back to about the 23-yard line. A 13-yard pickup, 3 short of the first down.
This is what the Giants are doing so well in this game, Pat, is they have thrown to 9 different receivers. You know, they're not one-dimensional. They're using their wide receivers today, as we see Baker catch that one. They're using their tight ends. They're using the backs, and Phil Simms is almost perfect today.
Brings up a 3rd and 3 situation.
He doesn't like that play, though. You see that? Guys, you know, when they're sending in plays, a quarterback, if he doesn't get it right away, will get frustrated because now he has to rush.
Good cut again by Anderson, and he dives for the first down. James Washington tripped him up.
Oh, and the fans are watching that spot. They know their football here. They see the spot, and they know that they didn't give them the first down. Bill Parcells is saying, is it 4th? I'll tell them right up front here it's 4th. Watch this move. You get the penetration from the outside. Cross does a nice job of blocking Norton. Again, either poor tackling or a cut. Now that ball there should be on the line there. That should be on the line of the hash mark. It was just a little short of the line. See where they marked it? And I think that's going to leave him a little short of the first down, too. Just that much.
About a foot.
You know he's going to go for it.
Yep.
You see what he said? He just said, go ahead. I would say this one, they bring in another lineman. They put Carthon in the backfield. Now Carthon's going to be there to lead block for the tailback. I'm sure who'll get the ball.
And William Roberts will be the tight end on the left. Anderson got it. Two yards. They needed a foot. Lockhart on the stop.
You see that look of satisfaction on Bill Parcells' face and his whole body language. There's nothing that is more satisfying than picking up a first down on 4th down, nor is there anything that's more relieving when it happens.
17-10, the Giants lead. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line of the Cowboys. Anderson. A yard, maybe 2. Lockhart the first to hit him.
Yeah, we were talking about their distribution. Look, they're 5 to 10 to their wide receivers passing wise, 5 for 5 to the running backs, 5 for 6 to the tight end. So that is great distribution.
That's what you look for. It'll bring up 2nd and 8.
And that's why they're so tough. They're so tough on defense, and then on offense they don't make mistakes and they just control the clock.
Well, that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Giants 17, the Cowboys 10. Ready to start the 4th quarter at Giant Stadium. 17-10. Giants lead, but they're at the Cowboy 19. They've kept the ball 27.5 minutes. The Cowboys 17.5 minutes. Total yards are pretty even, though.
Well, that's what they do so well. The Cowboys get the ball and they start to threaten, and then boom, they just take them out of the game with a long drive.
Sims to throw. Down by Lockhart and Jeffcoat. Second sack.
You know, one of the things they wanted to do in the NFL, Paul Tagliabue, is to shorten up these games, and in 3 quarters, Pat, they've really shortened
They've done a good job here.
I know, and I think that sometimes in doing so, they've taken plays out of the game. Let's just look. After 3 quarters last year, the average number of plays was 117 plays. Today, we've had 89. So that's what, 27 less plays, 28 less plays. And I think that's the complaint most coaches have. You're getting fewer plays, fewer opportunities, and then not enough time at halftime.
3rd and 16. Sims to Hampton. Touchdown.
Yeah, we'll see here, if we just let it go, we'll see the seam pattern, and we'll see what a seam pattern is. You see motion there. Now Hampton is going to come out, and if we can stop it right here, you see Hampton here. This is the seam caused right here. He runs right down into that seam. See, right between the zone. He just outruns it, and Sims hits him perfectly. They are the masters at that. The seam pattern and throw it to. It's usually the tight end. That time, it was Rodney Hampton running the same seam pattern. You know, there aren't a lot of teams that throw that because it takes a lot of timing. I think they're taking a look at this play. I know earlier, you know, Mark Ingram scored one, and they didn't take a look at it. They didn't see another angle, and he was out of bounds, and they gave him the touchdown. Watch Hampton again, right down the numbers. Now, the only thing they can be looking for is to see if he was down by contact before he got to the end zone. Is his knee down before the ball breaks the plane? That's what they have to be looking at right there. Because the catch is legal, everything is fine. The replay director is Jack Fetty. He was on the rightmost part of that screen. And again, they missed one in the first half when Mark Ingram caught the pass out of bounds. And this one, there can't be any question with the catch, but it's just, is he in the end zone before his knee's down? And it looks like to me that the ball, again, is the key. Does the ball break the plane? Down by contact when the knee goes down.
After further review,
I think it's a touchdown.
The play stands. Touchdown.
The play stands. No question, but the ball broke the plane. The question was his knee down before that happened? Barr's extra point is good. We'll return to Giant Stadium after this message from your local station. O.J. Anderson conducting an instructional clinic.
I know it. He is coaching everyone. Hampton's the guy who just caught the touchdown, and he's telling him what else he could have done.
Dixon at the 7. Well, it's that time of year, Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live coverage of the National League Championship Series, Game 1, here on CBS. Cincinnati Reds have won the West and await their opponent, which most likely will be the Pittsburgh Pirates. First playoff appearance for both teams since 1979, when the Pirates beat the Reds. They went on to win the World Series. That's Thursday night at 8 o'clock here on CBS.
You know what we're just seeing here, the Cowboys do. I think they're the only team in football that does it. Maybe the Cincinnati Bengals do, where they line up, their first huddle is on the sideline.
Bateman gets it to Emmett Smith. He's hit by Renee Thompson and Pepper Johnson. almost a 10-yard gain.
I don't think you ever had a question if Renee Thompson is a tough guy, but if you did, you won't ask that question anymore. Here's a guy who's out here on every defensive play playing corner, which is tough. Every kickoff coverage, punt coverage, first guy down. Guy ought to get paid. I'm sure they won't be happy with this comment, but he ought to get 2 game checks.
No, they probably won't.
Well, I mean, Renee Thompson will. His
Oh, yeah, he'll like it.
family would, but Wellington Mara and that group wouldn't be. George Young wouldn't be.
Couple of inches short of the first down. 13:55 left to play.
Offensive linemen are a rather sedate group. You notice that?
Yep.
A satisfied group. They like that. Linemen like when they see those numbers. Time of possession 27-18.
Alonzo Highsmith got enough for the first down, but that's about all. Leonard Marshall made the tackle.
See, look at those linemen. They all come in. They all sit together, the offensive linemen. They don't say much. They're not an outgoing group. They don't make speeches. They just kind of talk over their heads a little. You know, they'll spit once in a while, usually on themselves, and explain things. Defensive linemen, they're crazy. I did this, I did this, slapping each other in the head and stuff.
Totally different character. Here's Aikman. Gets it out to Novacek. Novacek outside the 40 to about the 43, a pickup of 7.
Leonard Marshall almost had Aikman. In fact, Leonard Marshall isn't starting now, but he gets a spinner in there. See if we can see him. Watch 70 right there. Boom, he hits. You see the spin? Then he comes around and the same thing, gets out of the spin, straight up the middle, and he's just about there when Aikman gets rid of the ball. Big Leonard, he likes those spinners.
2nd and 3. Smith, flag on the play. He got enough for a first down. Pepper Johnson dragged him down. Put a marker down. Holding against the Cowboys.
Yeah, Bill Parcells was saying that the 2 guys on the defense that have really come into their own thus far have been Pepper Johnson and Eric Howard.
Holding, number 66 of the defense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
66 is Kevin Gogan. Jimmy Johnson was telling us last night that he planned to alternate his guards. The first set, the starting set, would play 1 3/4, and Gogan and Giesick would play 2 and 4.
Yeah, and the reason that is because he's really not satisfied with any of them. It's not that he's trying to keep anyone fresh or rested. He just doesn't like the play of any of his guards so far.
2nd and 14. Reverse to Kelvin Martin. Played well by Pepper Johnson. Only a 2-yard gain.
Pepper Johnson loves that because they got fooled on that reverse the first time. It was the same reverse, same play. They got to run there. Now every coach is going to say, look, when the ball goes away, hold your own. Check the reverse. Check the reverse. And then when a guy does it like Pepper Johnson, then he got the coaching from the first half.
3rd and 12 at the 35. Darrell Johnston is the lone setback. Aikman picked off by Perry Williams. Intended for Wright.
I'll tell you who caused that one is Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor got a heck of a rush. Watch him. He's going to come from right up the middle there, 56. Now he's going to hit Aikman just as he throws the ball. You see, Aikman couldn't see his receiver, and he couldn't step forward. And that was the start of the interception right there with Lawrence Taylor.
Right in his face.
And you see when the guy's in the face, you see what happens? The ball ends up short. It was interesting now. I just saw Lawrence Taylor talking to Bill Belichick, and there was so much talk about him not being out in the last play, whether they're going to take him out at the end of the game in this game. I would bet that could have been Lawrence Taylor's last play.
I bet you're right. Here is Jeff Hostetler. The screen passes to Anderson. O.J. Anderson outside the 45, stopped by Washington, but 13 yards gained.
I'll guarantee you, with Hostetler in there for Phil Simms, Lawrence Taylor won't play anymore. And I think the Giants really feel that they got the Cowboys now.
That's Eugene Lockhart, the injured Cowboy.
Eugene Lockhart, one of the bright spots on this team. You know, the leader every year in tackles.
10:47 left to play, with the Giants leading 24-10.
505, 506, and 540 G's.
To summarize, Dallas has had the ball 20 minutes, 59 seconds. The Giants 27-58. Aikman 13 out of 17, Sims 16 out of 22. Ingram in motion. Hostetler back to throw, and Chase out of the pocket. He's a fine athlete. Albritton and Norton. But he scrambled for 15 yards.
Well, again, it was that bootleg pass, and they put Norton in the vise. If Norton stays back, he's going to throw it. If Norton comes up, he'll throw it. If Norton goes back, he'll run it. Watch him as he comes out here in a bootleg fake. Comes out. Now watch 51. You see he's keying on him. When he stayed back, then that was Hostetler's key to run it.
First down, Giants at the Dallas 39. Anderson hammered by Hamill.
That was the second time. They're having trouble with that. They're still working on the side on Gene Lockhart. It was his knee. It was hurt towards the end on a play, and they just took him out and then brought him over, and they're still checking the knee.
Willis Crockett has taken Lockhart's place as the middle linebacker. Anderson has carried 17 times for 78 yards. Roussan and Hampton are the two running backs now. Hostetler to throw. Gets it to Roussan. Roussan inside the 25 to the 24.
I think the Giants have the Cowboy defense where they can do anything they want to them. Hostetler coming back, you see both backs checking and then going through, where you just check like you're going to block and then you run right through. That's what Roussan did. I think it's smart to get Hostetler out of there, or in there, not only to get Sims out of there, but you got to bye next week, and your backup quarterbacks get a little time to play. So you're killing a bunch of birds with one stone here.
First and 10. Giants at the Cowboy 24. Tillman is the setback. Inside the 20 to the 18. Stopped by Norton.
I think the most impressive guy to me today in this game was Renee Thompson, but the second guy was Otis Anderson. You know, you keep thinking he's just hanging on there, but I mean, he not only plays well, but he looks like he's getting younger and fresher.
And faster.
Right, and then these other guys come in like Tillman here, and, you know, the thing is worn down. They've watched the old master do it, and then they come in there and they just take over. I mean, this guy has to be an inspiration to this team, if not by words, just by the way you play the game.
Not many running backs play the game as long as he has.
And still makes the cuts that he does.
That's Tillman. You're about the 11, a pickup of 6, tripped up by Albritton.
This is when it's fun to play, when you get down in this situation. You got the defense, you got them where you want them. Of course, Phil Simms is a guy that was very beneficial to get him to that position. See, he's 16 for 22 and threw 3 touchdowns. Now he not only has the rest of this game off, but the Giants have a bye next week. So this will be a big plus. You go into your bye 4-0, you can't ask for anything better than that.
The NFC West has the bye this week, all 4 teams. Flag on the play.
Oh, Hostetler gave him that hard count. You see that? He gets down there and he's trying to get some yardage in there, pick up a 5 yards to get 1st and 5.
Offside. Number 96 of the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Daniel Stubbs.
Jimmy Johnson thinking, well, we fell for that one. The backup quarterback comes in and gives you a hard count. We all jump offside.
There's Hostetler. 6:25 left on the game clock. Less than that now.
Of course, Hostetler, you know, he's a 7-year veteran. We're not talking about some young quarterback who's never played the game here.
On 1st down, Tillman hit in the backfield by Willis Crockett.
Yeah, that's a perfect name for a Dallas Cowboy. I mean, I think Willis Crockett, if the Cowboys, you know, when they get good again, if they had this guy playing linebacker, it'd be good. Who's a linebacker for the Cowboys down there? Old Willis Crockett. Willis Crockett's a linebacker for the Cowboys. It's, you know, a character they write books about.
He just had another name, a 3rd name, like Dewey Willis Crockett or something like that.
Or if the Cowboys would trade for Billy Joe Tolliver. Billy Joe Tolliver and Willis Crockett went out after the game.
Hostetler got away from the blitzing Cowboys and is going to get into the end zone. 12 yards out. Hostetler gets it in.
Yeah, he got the big pass rush, and then after he dodged it there, right there, he's going to say, look what I found here. When he comes out of it, he got a big block just before he ran there. Someone got hit, and the first thing that hit was the back of their head. But once he got through all that stuff in there, he had a straight shot to the end zone. The way Bart Oates is smiling, I wouldn't be surprised if it were he that picked off that guy.
Might have been. Was in that area. Barr's extra point is good. So with 5:20 left to play, the Giants are in command 31-10.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? AT&T, the right choice. And by Keystone and Keystone Light, bottled beer taste in a can. Wouldn't that be great?
Dixon to return the kickoff, but not very far. Dave Duerson made the stop.
That it was Bart Oates. Watch Oates. He's right here, and he's going to get Tony Tolbert, and that's the play that is going to free Jeff Hostetler. But watch it right there. I mean, that's the play that the first thing that hit was the back of Tolbert's head, and that opened that lane for Jeff Hostetler.
And Hostetler, as we said, is a fine athlete, took advantage, scrambled in from 12 yards out.
And Bart Oates is still on the sideline talking about his block. You kind of look for those things. You don't get them. You know, the guys can't see out of their ear holes. And when you can see their ear hole, they usually don't see you.
Here's Aikman. Novacek and nothing doing. Lawrence Taylor still playing.
Now this surprises me. I mean, I think you could say, you know, last week, well, no one thought about it. We didn't get him out of there. They've already taken Phil Simms out. I don't think they were wrong last week for not taking Taylor out. I think that's just second guessing. But I would think that this week that these coaches, Bill Belichick and Bill Parcells don't want Lawrence Taylor in there now, but he wants to be in there to prove something.
Aikman's throw. Caught by Novacek. One-handed. Pickup of 7. Now, one of the writers during the week. Look at this catch by Novacek.
That looks like one of those things they call the pirouettes. What do they call it? Yeah, those things that those ballet dancers do.
You're asking the wrong guy.
Pirouettes.
Anyway, one of the writers asked him why he was in the game, and he said, "Do you stop writing before the game's over?"
That's right. He's a football player, and there's a football game going on, and that's why he's in there.
3rd and 4, the draw play for Emmett Smith. Enough for a first. Pepper Johnson brought him down.
And I'll bet you again this call was Lawrence Taylor's call, you know, because it got such a play last week about him being in there last play. Why was he in there? That he's going to show him that he was right for being in there. And that's the kind of guy he is.
Aikman to Smith.
You know, one of the other things on that, Pat, last week that I think is a heck of a thing in Taylor, you know, talking about Lawrence Taylor and what a great player is, that he was capable of pulling a hamstring on the last play of the game. Because you have to exert a heck of a lot of effort to pull a hamstring.
To Smith again. Would be enough for another Dallas first down, 8 yards. Duerson made the stop. 3:40 left to play. 31-10 Giants. Smith, another one-handed catch. Aikman. 17-yard pickup, stopped by Jackson. Smith heard something. Or just got tired, one of the two.
Well, I think he's been frustrated. I think his feelings are a little hurt because this Giant defense has really, for most of the game, had the clamps on him.
Darrell Johnston in the game. There's a flag on the play. Dennis McKinnon. I beg your pardon, James Dixon.
Well, they had to call something out there because Roger Brown had a collision before the ball got there. I think the official knew that, you know, it probably has to be interference if Brown hits the receiver before the ball gets there.
Pass interference on a defense, number 46. The ball is awarded at the spot of the foul.
First down, Dallas. Coordinating producer for the NFL on CBS is Charles H. Milton III. Produced today by Bob Stinner. Directed by Sandy Grossman. The NFL Today produced by Eric Mann. Directed by Duke Struck. Senior producer is David Winter. And the executive producer, Ted Shaker. Aikman in the direction of James Dixon. Coming up next, the NFL Today, the postgame show with scores and highlights from around the league. So stick around.
Well, you know, we were talking about the good teams in the league. The Giants, of course, being one of them. Dallas, we know, have 14 picks in the first 2 rounds or the first 3 rounds in the next 2 years. But some of the other good teams had buys today. I mean, I still think the 49ers are one of the top teams. The Rams are one of the top teams. They're both not playing this week.
Aikman, Novacek. The NFC West and their records, they have the buys this week.
Well, you know, it's an advantage for the Rams, I think, because they're beat up. It's also a big advantage for the Saints. The Saints aren't a bad team. They have quarterback problems. They made the trade this week for Steve Walsh. They have a bye week. I think that's a plus for the Saints also.
Novacek having a good day, down to about the 7, stopped by Duerson.
Yeah, and I'm impressed with Aikman. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of chances. He didn't have the ball a lot today because of the job the Giants have done both offensively and defensively, but for a second-year guy, he sure has a lot of cool.
First and goal from the 7. Touchdown. Novacek.
I mean, when this guy gets all the players in place, Aikman's going to be a star in this league. And you just hope that while they're doing that, while Jimmy Johnson and his group are doing that, that he doesn't get too beat up or hurt or frustrated or any of those type things, because the guy really is a confident guy now.
Novacek has caught 9 passes for 85 yards and that touchdown. Willis for the extra point, with Novacek holding. That makes it 31-17 Giants with a minute and 58 seconds left to play. Dallas 17. Onside kick.
I don't know. I would think not. I mean, if I were them, down 31-17, you're building a team. You got a young team. The way he's putting it there in the tee or not on the tee, that is an onside kick, so he's going to kick one. But I don't think I would.
We'll put a bunch of guys over here. Out of bounds. They had a shot at it.
Yeah, they did, but I think when you're trying to build a team,
re-kick with a 5-yard penalty.
You know that you just try and get out of it. You try and keep everything solid. They're not going to win the game anyway.
Penalize them 5 yards. It's still got to go 10 yards if they choose to try it again.
Yeah, I tell you one good thing about that. Jimmy Johnson is here, and he's just hoping to get it. I'll tell you, if his team that were covering it were as excited as he would, they would have come up with that ball. But you know, that last drive gives Bill Parcells something to complain about for 2 weeks. You know, how the Cowboys took it to you. You had him. You couldn't stop him. The guy drove right downfield. You know, your defense is nothing. You know, that gives them 2 weeks to preach that one.
They're going to try it again.
Run back a little bit, Vincent. There you go. Go.
I think they touched it before it got 10 yards.
Right, yeah, because the one official threw his hat, and he threw the hat at the point that it was touched, and it was before 10 yards, so the Giants will get it there. See that when an official throws a hat, that means that he is spotting something. See, the Cowboys can't touch it till it goes 10 yards. They touched it right there. And then the hat comes out, boom, and the Giants get the ball.
1:58 still remain. Giants 31, Cowboys 17.
You know, one thing about this game, Pat, that we haven't had, you know, it's going to be a quick game, but there hasn't been a timeout called. There was no timeouts called in the first half, and maybe they're just going to play this whole game. That may be some kind of record. No timeouts.
Very few penalties. Hostetler gives to Tillman. Chased down by Albritton. Next week, the NFL Today at 12:30 Eastern gets it all rolling. And then the rest of the game, San Francisco, Houston, New Orleans at Atlanta, Tampa Bay at Dallas. And then most of you will see Green Bay at Chicago, which is where John Madden and I will be.
Yeah, you can't beat that in October, being at Chicago Soldier Field. The Bears go into today 3-0. Reading where Mike Ditka says they got a new team now. They wrote team on their sleeve. They're all wearing team. You know, that the team is a thing, and well, it's gotten them off to a good start. Leonard Marshall's having something else done to his sleeve.
2nd and 7. Here comes Hostetler. Jim Jeffcoat Chased him down after a 6-yard roam.
He was looking for a block out there from Stephen Baker, and he didn't get anything. Defense is still meeting in there. Tillman's in here running out the clock.
40 seconds left.
Bill Parcells was saying about Tillman, he just makes one cut and run. He said he makes one cut and then you wait for the glass to break.
3rd and about a foot. Tillman didn't get the first down, but that doesn't really matter. Lost one. A good day for Phil Simms.
A good day for all the Giants. I think they, you know, as a team, when you put everything together, their defense, you put their special teams, their offense, I think it was as close to perfect as a team can be at this point of the season.
So they'll have a bye next week, and they'll go into the bye week 4-0.